Hello, everyone. I'm Roddy Sniper. I'm joined by the esteemed Antidale, and we've got Scar restreaming and Dubword as our tracker. And welcome to the round of 24 here in the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Highway to the Zemus Zone 6. We've got Guerin versus PlumeriaKnight in the first match of their best of three series. And Antidale, this is for those that haven't had a chance to watch any of the brackets, there's a bit of a wrinkle this time around as we get into the brackets as far as our flag sets.
Yeah, the admins have made up what they call the living brackets, where each week there are four additional potential wrinkles, as well as just keeping it the same that each pair of runners has to vote on before their first race, and that modifier will keep on throughout their entire set of three. So for this particular series between Guerin and PlumeriaKnight, they've chosen free party, which means that See No Earned replaces See No Free in the flag set. So we'll see characters available only in the free locations. We'll be able to get our full party of 5 as soon as we can. And then we don't see anybody else past those initial locations. We do start with Edge, so a character that you normally couldn't see in the flag set with that See No Earned does show up as their hero. So that's pretty neat.
Yeah, Edge, very strong character, very fast character, which can cause some complications later in the game. So we'll see how the runners react to that.
Yeah, love having Flame available as a ninja spell early, gets you through some stuff, but we do want to see some ninja weaponry, which has been notably hard to find sometimes. It looks like they are off.
All right, we'll see what they start off with and get a peek at the boss here at Baron 1.
Well, that Earth Crystal answers ninja weaponry probably, and if it doesn't, then Sid and the many axes that he can wield to help you get through the early game probably do.
Yeah, this is offense is likely not going to be a problem here in the early game between Edge, Sid, and the treasury of some of the best gear the best chests we can open up in this flag set.
Yeah, runners will be looking for stuff like power shirts or Zeus gauntlets, long swords at the least they'll want to see out of there. Hopefully seeing a Ninja Blade or two, maybe a Murasame as something that can slow Edge down if they need to in a pinch. We'll see. We got a little bit of divergence. Guerin heading for loot and a character, and PlumeriaKnight heading just straight for loot.
Yeah, the Watery Pass is Wade to have some better gear as well, and immediately striking gold with the Poison Axe, so one of those axes for Sid you were talking about.
Yeah, we find a little baby Rydia and a samurai bow. So one of the things the runners talked about in the room a little bit is what their chances are to not see a white mage, because they are not inconsiderable that we don't see a white mage here.
Yeah, Rydia, if we can find the Sura Summon, there's a ninja sword on PlumeriaKnight's side in that treasury, 2 ninja swords, so we are good to go.
Yeah, 2 ninja swords, Zeus gauntlets, and a couple of darts. Like I saw a lightsaber that maybe is a good dart if we don't find Cecil. I think there's a drain spear, I think, too.
Also, Leviathan summon for that Rydia.
I would love to see a heroine for her to keep up with speed with Edge too at some point. Karate shirt is nice for a little extra plus strength and a bandana. So PlumeriaKnight, his Edge is just ready to go.
Yeah, no, this party is going to make relatively short work of this overworld, I think.
Yeah, and Plumeria is actually in an interesting place where he could decide to just not look for characters. His party is strong enough that Edge with all the stuff is going to get through everything. You could just not let anyone else take turns. There's not enough experience in the early game to really matter anyway. And just go and then figure the rest out later, which is something that I don't think we would see very often.
That makes a lot of sense. We've seen a lot of runners try to preserve characters, particularly Rydia and Palom, to get the slingshot on their grind. So Guerin going to have the extra help of the AoE that Rydia can provide, but and potentially be your source of healing. But yeah, Plumeria will have an easier time potentially of getting the that slingshot and getting up to the nuke a lot easier.
And Garen does pick up a long sword and a medium sword, as well as a plus strength hat. there in the Damsian basement, so not too far behind the weaponry. Far behind, but not like impossibly.
Yeah, a couple of Earth Hammers as well. Well, there goes their chance in the White Mage.
Yeah, and the white mage that the runners probably prefer to see overall. Porum does learn the spells earlier, at least the early spells earlier. Gets blink and burst a little bit faster than Rosa does, but uh, I would much rather overall have Rosa's faster late game spells as well as notably better HP.
Oh, absolutely. The always fun when you have to take a low level fight in the final boss and find out, oh wait, Porum didn't quite get up to Cure 4.
Yeah, Plumeria, having already looted the treasury, skipping most of the stuff in Damsian, is going to hit on that Earth Hammer, which is nice for Sid. Gives him some anti-machine weaponry in case we decide to do D-machines at some point. Or not D-machines, but Mac Giants.
Yeah, as Guerin making his way down to the Antline Cave for our first boss check. And Plumeria following suit, we get CPU fight.
Yeah, I really like that shuriken toss there, and then if Sid's got the Earth Hammer, that'd be a real good second turn.
Yeah, Guerin doing just that and making a very short work of a fight that can be kind of annoying and much longer than than you want it to be.
Yeah, definitely nice to see a good dart and a little bit of AoE. Like, it's a fast fight early, so it's not a big deal, and this is a powerful team for their start. There's one of our objectives right here in Antline with that Sand Ruby. We won't get a character, but we will clear an objective.
Always good to get an objective in your pocket early on, and at least until you get all 6 of them, and you're relatively and you still haven't figured out how to get your levels. Plumeria taking the more traditional approach of taking out the defender node that heals the main orb, and then now you're going to go ahead and use that drain sword as a dart.
Yeah, and a king and a queen in the waterfall, so we don't have to do that today. Yeah, but they aren't going to be anywhere that gives us a lot of XP for nothing later.
Yeah, you know, that's one of those fights you really want to see late. You want to see late game because it is so easy, but you know, just means more of an exciting fight later on. Though one of the bosses you don't like seeing in later spots, the Antlion, is accounted for as well on Mount Hobbs.
Yeah, Garen doing a good job of making sure that Demus isn't going to slip through the cracks anywhere, because that could be gating something, but that's a lot of head there, and we're out.
Yeah, the no free key item flag is on, so the demist fight will net an item at from Bridia's mom in Mist Village, as opposed to getting it off of Edward in Toroya. So always worth taking a few minutes to go look at that. And hi, Pig. Look at how happy he is, feeling all better.
And PlumeriaKnight did pick up a... ooh, we got life potions here in this spot. That's a very nice find for Garen. PlumeriaKnight did pick up a Fire Claw, as well as a Power Staff in the weapon shop here.
Yeah, Definitely like being able to use the elemental claws to take advantage of those weaknesses, and Power Staff is an early source of Berserk potentially.
Yeah, and just I don't think we've seen. Oh, we have seen Samurai Bow on at least one runner's side. So, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure if Plumeria has a good bow for Rosa. So it could be also just a little bit of Rosa gets something.
yeah, it was in that watery pass, so I think Plumeria checked all that as well.
Buy 10 heal pots for a Rude Val and maybe to reduce some poison noises.
I'm definitely a big fan of checking the checking for heal pots and grabbing that stack, and PlumeriaKnight getting doing another character check and getting Paladin Forum.
And each one twin being in the other's original spot. They're just playing a little switcheroo there.
Gotta play a prank here and there. So as Guerin goes and loots the treasury gated behind the Earth Crystal, shaping up to be a pretty strong party as soon as we get the Darkness Crystal.
Yeah, Plumeria ditching Sid does leave him a little bit behind on that giant killing power, but we'll see what the choices and stuff there when we get to the point. There is Cecil that was kind of the last thing of how far does Plumeria want to go up on this ordeals, and the answer is probably pretty far because Cecil's pretty good and he's got a light stick.
Yeah, between the lightsaber gives him something to swing, and honestly, if I have my druthers, I'm taking Cecil just because of that cover ability alone.
And hello, Demus. PlumeriaKnight will have to spend less time than Guerin did looking at various spots. Yeah, and I do agree with both Rybon and John Burkhead in chat. Rybon saying that Sid is more valuable than carrying on 4 mages early. I would agree. I'd also want to just like ditch Rydia or ditch Palom in order to slingshot them later. You do have Leviathan, so maybe Rydia stays over her what I would normally do. But also John's noting that Zeus Gauntlet is fantastic for a Mac Giant grind with cover, because Zeus Gauntlet does give you giant protection.
Yeah, I think that even if Plumeria had kept Sid initially, you probably would have seen him get swapped out for Cecil right away.
The kick around the world happens for about 20 points of damage on everybody.
And we see just how great those early that early treasury was for that edge, because 1200 damage this early on is very nice to see. Mary taking the time to do some inventory management during the crumble. Very nice use of the time there.
Hello, darkness. Fancy seeing you here right up in the first 13 minutes of the game.
We have a party. We have a grind. We've got we've got axes. We've got Thunderclaw. I would. You think we're gonna see some resets? Some people going to Baron and resetting real quick.
It's not a great grind. Ed, like Ninja Sword Thunderclaw Edge is okay. He's not going to disappoint you as much as Longsword Thunderclaw Edge is going to disappoint you, because that's a big disappointment, seeing him hit for like 2,000. Cecil needs some more levels. You probably want to set up a slingshot for somebody. I think we got a little bit of time before we go grind. We want to know at least probably our underground access. So I would imagine we see Demus checks, Baron in, and possibly Fabul from both runners before anyone actually decides on a grind.
Plumeria burning a siren here to take the double Lamia fight. Might be getting things a little bit set up for that slingshot.
Yeah, I think this is mini sling on Cecil. Get him some levels, get the kids knocked down to set up that sling that you were saying, and then we'll see how close he is to feeling good about a grind this early.
Yeah. Chad is pointing out that mistake that I know I've certainly made on more than one occasion, getting distracted by the shiny new item and forgetting about that demist. Waiting for them to cash in at Mist Village.
Yeah, you kind of hope that at runners who've played as long as these two have some sort of mechanism for reminding themselves that they've seen a demist. Some people maybe just track only demist as a boss on any boss tracker, or to make a little note to hopefully remind themselves. But definitely something that comes up. I know one runner doesn't use the character tracker in Skull's tracker, but I think it marks off Rosa for demist. If demist is found, notes that just marks off Rosa as part of the party, just so that he doesn't forget.
That's a really good strategy. I forget it. Need to come up with a better way of doing that myself.
Yeah, you just got to find what works for you and work it in. We just find Crystal Gauntlets, and since Plumeria has already turned in the Sand Ruby, normally you might want to critique runners for going in on the left side of Mist Village for checking demist, but not a big deal here because the penalty is non-existent.
Yeah, especially since it's an objective anyway, so you might as well sit the cutscene now rather than wait.
Yeah, and we're never going back to Desert Town again. Yeah, Guerin also remembering that demist, so good on both runners for not forgetting.
Runner's also picking up an Ice Claw here in Mist Village, so that gives Edge all 3 elemental claws. So when we see Rubicon, got an answer for that as well.
Yeah, you're gonna show us what is sitting here at Baron Inn. And again, taking a moment, make sure to equip that bow and arrow to get Cecil that back row glitch. That'll be nice throughout the rest of the seed.
Yeah, letting Cecil do full damage from the back row while getting the defensive benefits of it. And we see the Dark Imps. Got our first check here at Guerin. Okay, there. PlumeriaKnight's stream is back up, and it looks like we do have Leviathan here at the Zot 1 spot according to our tracker, Dubward.
And Flame carrying hard here.
Yeah.
Gonna take out both of the fights. Could have done this instantly. Well, a little bit to go here, but got it covered.
Yeah, good use of the Thor Rage there to mop up.
And there's our underground. So do you feel like this would make you have you do a little more checking, or are you still gung-ho for doing a grind right away?
I'm if I didn't have Rosa with I would maybe consider doing a check for some Cure 3s or other gear, just to kind of get a little bit more defense. But those Zeus gauntlets go a long way. I think we've got some pretty good armor on set for Cecil. I think I saw a samurai armor at some point, so good chance that we're good chance we're in. I would probably give it a try, and then probably regret it very soon afterwards. Evil Wall on PlumeriaKnight's side. Here at the second Zot check. I do like checking this first because this does give Rosa exit as well as Cecil having it, so it's good to have that on a character before you start really exploring.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, and might as well check out the. It's going to land you back at Baron, so you're not spending any extra fly time to hit back Baron in. Gives you an extra chance at a key item. You might hit Baron Castle, which is an objective, so I kind of like the routing.
Guerin on his way underground after cashing in that magma key from Baron in, and immediately gonna pop a siren.
Yeah, definitely want to get that Cecil online. We'll see if he does any napping of children or anything to promote slingshots, or if he's just going to go straight to stop auto palom.
Looks like we get the package out of that Zot check, so it's definitely a good find for PlumeriaKnight there.
Yeah, if Guerin never checks that, and there's not a lot of impetus to check it, missing those characters, possibly not wanting to land there again, and then maybe one more time for the harp, and it being kind of a long check. Could be something that Guerin never does. That means he's got a much narrower window to find his sixth Virgo. We'll also see if Plumeria decides to go turn in that package right away, or kind of holds on to it for when it might be a useful time to get a full heal out of the party.
can see that. You get a lot of the full heals in the early part of the game, but after a while, those are harder to come by. It might depend if we see cabins here in the underground for sale.
We have a very quick sighting of the big doll who then disappears.
Just a protect ring out of the Fey March freebie, which, is a nice piece of defensive gear, but not necessarily what you're hoping for.
That's not what you're hoping for, but if you got enough other good defensive gear, you could definitely maybe swing yourself an early Feymarch boss here with Cecil.
Yeah, the elemental resistance that provides is really nice.
Yeah, Plumeria just wants this objective marked off and forgotten about forever. Claim that item, that inventory spot back. I wonder what Guerin is shopping for. Maybe ogre axes?
Yeah, I think
because they're better than
I buy
poison.
that ogre axe.
Okay.
Which makes sense, because if you're going to be having Cecil covering, it's nice to have that shield for the extra defense, even if you're giving up a little of the top end attack power that the poison axe has.
Yeah, but I'm always willing to give up the massive a massive high roll of accuracy on the poison axe for just consistent damage out of the ogre.
Yeah, and Guerin deciding it's not time to take an early Feymarch boss when seeing Kanatsu at the king spot and Rubicon at the queen spot.
Yeah, he did have. I think he has a wizard hat. You could think about if checking to see if it's elements, giving Cecil that wizard hat and having him just protect against the Mylon Z form and like just fire 2 out of Palm. It'd be real slow and bad, but it's an option.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we did see the elements already at the third check in ordeals.
Oh, okay.
I think because Guerin didn't face check to see if that was Rubicon or the element spot.
Yeah, I definitely did not pay attention to who
It was
was there. So
fight.
Okay, yeah. So then definitely, if it's Ruby, you don't tangle with early Ruby at a Surus spot that is way too much magic power. It's gonna be no fun.
So Guerin gonna check for Bool while they're here. Also gonna check Sheila 1 after walking through the Sylph Cave. Plumeria rushing dwarf.
I kind of like it if you're thinking about doing an early grind. He's already burned his Siren, so he can't get XP. He can't get that egg XP. Dwarf is the next best infusion of XP for time, I think, that he has available to him. Gets him another key item check. I could see Plumeria deciding, and especially Plumeria looking at that Feymarch and saying, cool, I'm good. We're just going to go maybe do 1 or 2 other things and then grab my levels and go.
I doubt we're going to see that. I think that Feymarch is going to be the last location for both these runners. To get an Adamant Rock out of the Fool Defense and a Spoon for Sheila 1, so excellent dart for our hero here.
Yeah, and we do climb up to 6 key items on Guerin's side. PlumeriaKnight will hit 7 if he does the same things.
So, still missing, we did get half the Forge objective, but still missing a good chunk of our our objective items.
Dr. Luke tried to make that fight hard on the second form, Gassing Edge, who had a Ninja Sword and a Thunder Claw, but Cecil cleans up anyway. So, nuts to you, Dr. Luke.
That's what he deserves.
You know what? I think I deserve some cashews.
Yeah. Cashews are good. Curios in chat pointing out that everybody loves the dwarf experience until both spots are split XP, and then immediately we get our second split XP boss.
Burn the Witch. Also, Mom Bomb here is hilariously gross. I don't know if, yeah, we're going to get the explode.
Yeah, this fight doesn't normally have a lot of hit points, but Mom Bomb gets that, extra 9,000?
Yep. Like, not the worst dwarf castle possible out of all the dwarf castles this could have been, but like, this is a very bad dwarf castle unless Plumeria gets a good reward out of it.
Yeah, slower fights than they normally would be with this gear, and then with the experience being split up, that takes away from that. But yeah, it's not Wyvern at the first spot with a really nasty ability, so there is that.
True facts.
Did Guerin just go into Mysidia to pick up that Rydia?
Sure picked up somebody. I didn't see who. Yeah, looks like Guerin is setting up for that grind and did pick up Rydia, who at level 8 has 88 HP. She's crazy 8s.
Representing Eric Lindros at this point.
Oh, that hook is big too.
Yeah, that's Dwarf Castle is a spot that a lot of runners put off because it is two fights. It's for one item, so I could see Guerin saving that for much later.
Yeah, and PlumeriaKnight is in good sling range. I'd be really tempted to go do a grind if I'm Plumeria too. At this point, I think I wouldn't hate some more levels. A couple more levels will speed up his grind. So I definitely don't hate doing this either.
Yeah, the Mac Giant fight is not normally the fight runners will take on most flag sets as far as their Giant of Battle grinds, because it's nowhere near as safe as the D Machine grind can be, which safe is definitely with a giant asterisk there on that fight. But Mac Giant grinds can go south very quickly.
Yeah, it will be interested to see how this tournament affects that. And, of course, other flags are going to change things too. But Mac Giant grinds were always slower, partially because people just didn't practice them as much. They have a narrow window for when they're really good. Hey, that's Golbez. That's maybe a skip.
Plumeria. Oh, okay. Gonna knock Rosa down, and that way guaranteeing that the Shadow Dragon won't take out any party members, and gonna go for it.
Yeah, this is just going to be slow. It should be fine. Cecil's going to have the lightsaber to do extra damage to Golbez's holy weakness. Edge is doing pretty good damage anyway. We might see some life potions to get Rosa up in order to toss Zerks, but I don't think so. Magic power isn't very good here, so like you've got a chance at doing that.
Yeah, plus, Edge. The Plumeria did pick up that Fire Claw as well for Edge, as we see him equipping that. So the damage should be fine here. It's just a slow fight because you've got to sit through the Gold Dice Comedy Hour.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with the analysis from Rybon here of this is a good reset. Since you're getting reduced XP here, this is really long, and you're not getting enough extra levels to make this really noticeably change your Mach Giant grind, which in this case is going to be really safe because of that Zeus Gauntlet we saw earlier.
Could it be Plumeria's taking much more of a thorough approach to the underground, trying to get those checks, maybe expecting Guerin to do that early D machine grind, so trying to either get the key items or just cross off all the boxes, because Plumeria hasn't even checked the Feymarsh freebie or the Sheila 1 check yet, so just really focusing on this right now.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all if that's what's going through Plumeria's head. You've already gambled and won a couple times, so you've got a little bit of a free time here. And this isn't a dangerous fight, really.
Yeah, only 300 damage off that virus, and does have a Star Veil up on Edge to help with some of those attacks, since Edge's magic defense isn't as good as Cecil's, so should be in good shape here. Meanwhile, Guerin does have the Mach Giant grind set up, did do the step manipulation outside of Baron, which you can learn all about on the Free Enterprise Discord, because it's still a lot of amazing, wonderful work that our community has done to figure out that is very complex.
Yeah, it looks like Guerin's getting 27 to 2,700 to 3,300k off of Edge, and about 3,000 from Cecil on those hits. So needs probably 3 hits per Mach Giant to go. So that'll kind of dictate how long they go. And just Silent Staff. Does Plumeria walk that out? Nope.
Yeah, no, don't blame Plumeria for resetting out of that. That's the experience isn't great. So, but then you get your Star Veils and other resources back.
Oh, and Guerin not having team speed enough in order to get a life glitch on that last Mach Giant is a little bit painful. Wouldn't hate to see Palom get bluffed up another time or two also at some point. Get him contributing a little bit more so you can likely one round the Mach Giants with the entire team. Like Edge, Cecil, and Palom contributing probably kill it if Palom's hitting about 2k. At least while the viruses hold out.
Yeah, I don't know if either of these runners picked up ethers to keep that going.
Plumeria going back to the save point, doing a little curing. Curious.
That's an Ice Claw on Edge. Taking a shot at Ruby?
We do have that Protect Ring. I mean, sure. I don't think it's gonna work out perfectly, but there's a chance.
That Ice Claw is going to hit for a pretty good chunk of damage, and the Queen spot doesn't have a huge hit point pool, so might need a little bit of luck, but
I don't think bringing up the kids is gonna do that much for you, unfortunately, because the Fire 2s are gonna just knock them back down.
starting to avoid that counterattack on the first action with Edge.
Yeah, Glare chooses a bad target. Because winning this is predicated on Rosa getting Zerk on Edge and Edge finishing it out solo. Like, that's the only way this works.
Yeah.
And I just don't think it's going to happen. Like, this is a neat gamble. But I think that tactically, doing both Dwarf and Zot on a no-earned character seed and getting rewarded for both tells you, cool, I don't have to do this. I can go somewhere else because I'm way ahead of expected value.
Yeah, and I think Plumeria gave it the old college try and said, okay, let's not sink any more time into this.
Yeah, sometimes you have an idea and you got to see if it works. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, exiting out there. Looked at that Thunderclaw, seemed to be contemplating Kanatsu, but with that wave hitting as hard at that with as much HP at the king spot, that would be a heck of an accomplishment to get through that fight at this stage.
And it's going to be still really fast. You don't have a lot of plus agility and anybody else, so Edge is your fastest person, and you really need Rosa and Cecil to keep Link and health on Cecil up for punches and you don't have enough to dispel waves with the rest of your party. Like, that's a real rough fight for effectively a three-person team that Plumeria's got right now.
Yeah, they'll be there for later. So they'll just be lingering in the back of everyone's minds until either we're in go mode or realize that's where it is.
All right, 500k. That does get Rydia up to nuke. Palom's going to be short because Palom still needs a little bit more. Since Rydia got a sling and Palom did not.
Fortunately, should be relatively easy to get the rest of those levels on Palom just through the rest of the seed.
Yeah, just going down to the bottom of the LST should do it.
And is that where you would probably be heading if you were in Guerin's shoes? Just, you've got your levels, go take out the moon?
I'm going to take out something that requires the levels. If I feel like I left a lot on Earth and I want to finish it off, I'm heading straight to the Fey March and deciding from there what I do. But going to the moon is also a pretty good idea.
Guerin is going back underground, just looking to finish up the business down here, it looks like. Gonna go find that Golbez on at the top of the tower.
Yeah, this will give Plumeria at least some time back.
Plumeria getting his Adamant Rock from the Fool Defense and his Spoon from Sheila, and see where he's gonna go, because it does look like most of our answers, or at least some of our answers, are on the moon with these key items we have and what's still available to these runners.
Yeah, and I think tactically the answers are definitely behind getting levels and behind that Darkness Crystal for that. So definitely this Mysidia check probably just straight into fly over to Baron to do the setup and then do his own Mac Giant grind. And then we'll kind of have a better idea where everyone's at once that's done. We've got a lot of questions about where Guerin wants to go after doing this and probably checking Fey March.
Guerin able to set up the status effects on his party so everybody gets to stay up and help out in this Golbez fight. least until the Shadow Dragon knocks them all down. Knocks 3 of them down.
Yeah, I think he could have skipped doing that. Like we just saw from PlumeriaKnight that it doesn't really do that much damage. Uh, the spells here, so you could just not care because you're not scrambling to get Starbells up, probably.
So PlumeriaKnight going to the lunar surface, heading straight for Cape Bahamut.
We've seen King Queen, and like there's, so you've seen King Queen, Water Hag, and Dimps. So he might be fishing for an extra key item or two, like hoping to get one out of here and out of the Marasame spot.
Because without those 10 key items, there isn't enough experience here on the moon to get those Black Mages up to nuke.
Well, and I think he's just looking to, like, if these fights aren't bad, like if this is guards or something he can handle pretty quickly, the math on is it a good idea to do this? Like, yeah, this isn't too bad if you can get Cecil going. To spend a little bit of time here, hopefully snag 2 key items, and then go do a very, very, very fast Mac Giant grind.
I can see that. You don't think Plumeria might, Plumeria has been pretty aggressive in some of the routing and the checks they've done and fights they've taken. You don't think there's a chance he's gonna die at the subterranean and try to clear out things and just get more done, get as much done as possible before the grind?
I mean, he could, but I think that he spent a lot of time keeping kids up or keeping kids down to set up a slingshot, and the longer that he puts off actually using that slingshot, the less ideal it is for him.
That makes sense. Much faster Golbez fight on Guerin's side, thanks to Nuke doing very, very, very good things.
Yeah, and Robin pointing out how much you really want to be sitting on someone who can cast Stop, because Dark Elf is going to do some bad things to the rest of the party pretty soon.
Yeah.
I mean, Cecil's going to be fine, but this is just going to be Cecil the rest of the way, which is, I guess, okay.
Yeah, then going as far, make sure that Palom gets knocked down before Cecil can finish the fight. And Guerin is here at Dwarf Castle, so is on the way to getting that hook.
And gets a fancy hat, but eh? Is keeping it with the 2 levels for Tussle and 3 levels on Edge.
Yeah, I can see that. The Crystal Hat does have a more elemental resistance, so it's nice to have for extra defense on Cecil. It does look like PlumeriaKnight is going to take a look around the lunar subterranean, as Guerin will be working on. Will be probably not see the rest of the bombs here in this mom bomb fight after that nuke.
Rydia trying her very hardest to let it happen, though. The day is saved. No bomblets show up.
And there was much rejoicing.
I will be curious. Guerin is in a position. Oh, actually, no. It's not. Won't be that important for him to, or reasonable for him to do the launch the Falcon objective here. Uh, if he had a pass and more stuff to finish off on the moon, then it would be. But he's got a ways to go. So that was a thought that does not work.
Yeah, the Falcon check is a long walk for in two boss fights. You're kind of saying you'd be putting that off and hoping you get the path to victory some other way.
I mean, you definitely wanting to, you're wanting to not do it if you can, and you're wanting to. It doesn't give you a key item, and we've already seen TM miss, so there's never a hope of a key item. You would consider doing it before you went to finalize some moon stuff, so that you didn't have to ever come back. But we're not in a position for that to be true, so it's not a good check yet. Or not a check, but not a good objective clear yet. Heck yeah, Rydia, get in the fight. Cast that Leviathan with all of your MP. Let's go.
Hey, it is a very powerful AoE spell that I think is being nerfed by that Dragon Whip on her, but it's still enough to help get rid of some of those ghasts. So this fight being at the Murasame altar, so we'll see if Plumeria gets something here. Should be able to get through this fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely, we'll get through it. There's not really a lot of question there.
And Guerin, it's Guerin's turn to take on Rubicant. This should be a little bit better setup for Guerin with these levels.
Yeah, he's got more access to more things that do damage. We are in a little bit of danger in this fight for PlumeriaKnight just because just for like eating lots of time because all those lit counters. Rose is getting to the point where she's gonna die for one pretty soon, and that Edge is gonna die in the next one. We're also out of range for like the healing them puts them out of range for being covered, so it's an awkward situation.
Yeah, trying to avoid taking too many hits to make sure that Cecil can block those swings, but that lit one is not inconsequential when you've only got 1200 HP. I did see Plumeria use the spoon on that Mylon, so that will help knock down a lot of those hit points that it has, but won't have that for other fights later on.
Yeah, but if this isn't value, it's a quick reset too. Meanwhile, Ruby's down on Guerin's side. Nuke helps. It's good.
Yeah.
And we get a rat tail.
It's not the tail that we're looking for quite yet, but it could get us there.
This turtle's a menace even after a huge grind.
Yeah, that first wave is still gonna be what, 1,500 damage?
Oh, it's not even the wave. I mean, the wave is important because it'll. But we should be able to dispel it. It's just the amount of the turns and how big the punches are. Uh, you're still in a threat of just dying because you screw up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not the reward Plumeria is looking for.
Unless you really want a back row glitch edge, which is helpful, but yeah, that's not the reward that you want.
And we aren't exiting out, so we're staying on the moon. I continue to think that tactically, this is maybe not his best decision. He's doing this with a 3-person party in the mid-30s. And he has 2 kids that are just dying 4 levels. Literally, they're dying in order so that he can get levels on them later.
Yeah, I agree. You know, I enjoy doing the aggressive moon dives because they are a challenge, but they do take a lot of time. And at this point in time, as you see Guerin making quick work of these very difficult Fey March bosses, whatever Plumeria gets from this, Guerin's gonna be charging right behind them.
Yeah, Plumeria pretty hope for go mode very soon so that he doesn't have more stuff to check.
Yeah, Dubward pointing out in chat, Guerin has played very well, and honestly, Plumeria has done a heck of a job getting through these fights with a 3-person party. Definitely, I'm impressed with how well he's found a way to get through these fights. But Guerin has so far played this seed very well. The only thing still outstanding here is does he do Zod to get that package, or when will he find an alternate path to go mode?
Yeah, that's really the big thing that still keeps Plumeria with a solid chance in this, is that who knows when Guerin thinks to do Zod and how buried the last key item is going to be.
Finding the officer-soldier fight, the Kaipo guards, here at the White Spear altar as Guerin finds the Legend Sword.
Wow, so much Feymarch value. We got a Forge for Edge, which means unless it's scrap, we're probably pretty happy with it. Heck yeah, turn to stone. Plumeria wishes this was one room over.
Yeah, I did see Plumeria pick up a stack of those Medusa arrows, and turns was a very good purchase.
Okay, that's a positive for Plumeria, but not a huge one because Guerin's going to come here pretty soon, since the White Spear is an objective. And each runner has a key item that is necessary for a go mode that the other one doesn't. Hey, it's scrap.
Say its name and it appears.
Sometimes it feels like that's got a 60% chance of showing up. Kinda gross.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen a Mute Knife or a Rune Axe, so...
We had a Silent Staff that we threw away because Golbeth had it.
That Golbeth fight was the path, I guess. Yeah, no, that's a tough fight.
And drum roll for the rat tail. Full moon. Hey, you don't have to fight Violet and friends for it.
That's our second full moon, so this is a little confusing because I thought Blue Moon was our last Highway to the Zemus Zone tournament.
Yes, well, things bleed over when you do things. Yeah, this is huge for Guerin, staying on Earth to do all the things, and not chasing the moon, like I, an absolute fool, would have done. Is just on the path, and this is real bad for Plumeria.
Yeah, this will get that package, and then that'll be go mode for Guerin if I'm doing the math right.
Yeah, and I think he has very little reason to not head straight to the bottom. Like the only thing you're possibly considering is like, oh, I don't have a path, but like to me, I would just be like, I have to do the one that's there, or at least I ought to because it's on the list. And then there's 3 other checks that are on roughly the same floor. So why the heck not? Plumeria finally giving in, going to do the Mac Giants. Unfortunately, maybe too late for him. Probably too late for him. Or maybe he's just doing Baron. I don't know.
I was gonna say might be checking that Baron, might be cashing in that Baron key as well, but yep. And yes, Jazer in chat. If Guerin goes to that White Spear altar and does that objective, that'll be the Baron key, and that will be the go mode path for Guerin.
Yeah, because he'll pick up package from here. Then we'll already has the hook to launch the Falcon, and clearing the White Spear altar gets him his 5th, and then we'll be able to liberate Baron Castle for number 6. And of course, I think you plan to do Baron Castle before you launch the Falcon, just in case you get a Pinktail out of it.
I think Plumeria needs to be bailed out by either would need a twin harp or need the twin harp or the Pinktail here just to get a go mode path, but then would still be behind the Mac Giant grind.
Yeah, and you'd have to hope that Guerin then, if you get something that gives you go mode faster than a hook, he has to hope that Guerin misplays and does the hook first, which is something that you can't count on.
Yes, Scarcer. But the good news is you're getting paid in Bison dollars, which they'll be worth 4 times the English pound. So you're in good shape.
Do those also let you say, for me, it was Tuesday?
I mean, I say that anyway.
Cool.
Ogo Pogo here at Baron Inn. Not as much of a threat as they would be in other locations, so Plumeria should be able to get through this. Yep.
Sylvia S7 in chat asking what's with the piggies. That's because we have see no earned on instead of see no free. See no earned means that you don't earn any characters when you do spots. We have to do something to get them. We're just going to give you the free ones at the start. In order to show that their character's there, we do get piggies, and they get color coded by boss spot relativism.
Well, there's the 10th key item for PlumeriaKnight, but it is the Luca key. So does look like PlumeriaKnight is happy with the 10th key item and is looking to set up that grind.
Yeah, switching the strength ring for the Zeus Gauntlet, so Cecil has the Zeus Gauntlet, so you can do protect stuff. Seems pretty clear that's about what's to happen. But does he have enough time? Gonna really depend on what Guerin does. Guerin looks like he's going straight down, so I don't think Plumeria's got the time for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen if Palom's got nuke on Guerin's side yet, so may take a monster box, may take a behemoth somewhere in Gate Bahamut just to get that out, or maybe take the Rune Room fight for fun. But yeah, not a lot of time, not a lot of runway for PlumeriaKnight to try and catch up here.
And the seed's not helping him. He's resetting a couple times, or at least once, not getting the seeds that he wants in order to actually get the grind quickly. So this always feels bad when it takes you multiple resets to get it.
Yeah, Guerin was extremely lucky. I think they got it the first try. Since we didn't get a chance to really go over it the first time, can you explain a little bit more about this step manipulation that Plumeria is doing?
Yeah, Simbu and Twisted Flex in the Discord a long time ago set up various charts to tell us what your effectively what your encounter seed is and how many extra encounters it takes to get the correct grind fight. So we reset in order to clear the numbers so we know what we're working with. Then we walk around in Baron, which we know a set amount of, we know what encounters and they're easy to run from. This is where it initially came from, the Zemus Zone 3 tournament where Can't Run was turned on. And there is go mode for Guerin. But since with Baron, it's easy to run for these, it's easy to kill these, so we use that as a nice, easy template in order to figure out what fights there are. We look on a chart. You walk around a little bit, count your steps, look on a chart, tells you how many more fights to take, and then you just take those fights, and then you go to the giant and turn encounters back on. And then you know you've gotten the correct setup. So, yeah, it looks like you're correct in that Palom is still short of nuke. 1709 is definitely short of nuke on HP.
200,000 experience here should definitely be enough to finish that off for Palom.
Yeah, Palom needs to have at least 1772 in HP. That's the lowest he can have at level 52 when he would learn nuke. So he's at least a level, maybe 2 off right now. I guess it could be more than 2 too. I just don't remember where he actually stopped, but
I think I saw weak on Palom, so. Those AoE attacks from Rydia and Palom making this fight a lot more manageable, even without really strong mage killing gear.
yeah, absolutely.
But I think the AI did figure out that Rosa had equipped those mute arrows and knew who the priority target was.
And really unfortunate for PlumeriaKnight, the way this is going for him, he's now killed at least 2 Mac Giants and not gotten any life glitches on them, which when he's slingshotting with 10 key items is pretty bad because you want those free ones in order to really accelerate this grind.
the life glitch taking advantage of the fact that enemies have no HP, so if you manage to revive them before they fade off completely, they revive and immediately die again for double the experience. Definitely helps make these grinds a lot faster because you're essentially doing half the fights.
And for Plumeria, each toss of a life potion is worth 2 of what Guerin killed, just because of the 10 key item bonus. Hey, there's a pass on a pan. Guerin's really happy he did that. My goodness.
No. Nuke was the real prize, but the pass just made it all the better for Guerin. Definitely a lot of things have broken their way in this race.
Kids are up. Thing is down. That's all the levels that Plumeria needs. Now Plumeria just really needs, well, I think Plumeria is probably sunk, but his best hope is that Luca has something. At least from like a theory standpoint of where he's likely to go.
Yeah, I'd say that the Pinktail is probably the only thing that would save enough time, because the Twin Harp, a fan favorite check because of the custom harp songs we put in the game, but very long check because of it.
No, Frankie Bones. Legend was behind Turtle at Leviathan, which Guerin did post-grind, and Plumeria attempted the Ruby at Asura pre-grind. And never really looked seriously at Kanatsu, I don't think.
Oh, Plumeria looks like Plumeria is going to be checking the Baron basement. Forgot about that
Yeah.
check.
Yeah, this is pretty fast, totally reasonable. Something you weren't going to do without going to the moon first, and you're already here on the overworld, coming off the giant. So makes a lot of sense to do this.
Yeah, no, I like this. You're here because you did the Baron manipulation. Like you said, it's much faster than any other options.
It's the D-Lunars. This is a very lunar-infested Baron with three of the sparkles sitting here.
Yeah, that's not often you see that concentration of lunar bosses in one place. There weren't any in Baron Inn, though, were there?
No. That was Dimps into Calbrina.
That's right. And to your earlier point, doing the grind here, making this D-Lunar fight a lot easier. Probably not gonna need to wait to try to reflect the breath attack back on them. Just gonna.
Oh yeah, not at all. We're just gonna kill. Guerin picks up a Luca key that he doesn't actually care about.
Ooh, just
Womp.
Dragoon Spear for yeah.
Yeah, like Plumeria made lots of interesting neat choices and played very well for those choices. Just the seed, after it gave him 2 thumbs up early, it was just a constant thumbs down on any choice he made right after that.
This this is a best of 3 series, so if things break out the way they're looking like they're going to break out, Plumeria will have at least another race to come and stay in the bracket round here at 24. So I can see kind of playing a little bit more aggressive in the first race just to try and get that early win.
Yeah, and their next races are scheduled already. They are scheduled for Sunday. They're going to, looks like they're set up for a back-to-back Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern to start it off.
So definitely make sure to keep a look at that. And as our restreamer Scarcer has already pointed out, if you want to take a look at the schedule of the races that are planned for yourself, check out the Free Enterprise Discord. Great place to learn more about the game and keep abreast of everything going on here in the Highway to Zemus Zone 6 tournament.
And you can also keep track of all the stats and who's fought, who's race 2, and what the records are and stuff there on the Adaptable Rapid page that Flurry 14 has long had up for lots of race info for Free Enterprise. And hey, here's Blake.
And Asura will be coming up next after this, so should be the last hope of a really nasty wyvern not gonna be showing up.
Ruby down for Plumeria will be picking up a rat tail that gives nothing important, but stepping one step over, doing that turtle will be good news for Plumeria in terms of completing the seed.
Yeah. Plus, nothing else gives a nice little bit of payback, and exiting out.
I mean, from the perspective that Plumeria pretty much has to have here of I gotta do something and hope. Like knowing that he took slow fights on the moon before a grind and they zonked on him. I definitely don't hate the like, hey, maybe this is gonna get me something. Check here.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with checking the rat tail at all. I possibly could have dropped a save at the in the Fey March just to be able to reset out if this is.
He should have I'm pretty sure he saved before the Ruby fight.
Okay,
so
yeah.
He would in theory this should just be a reset back to haven't fought Ruby yet because you don't actually care about this rat tail.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. You've already got your 10 key items, so you don't need to keep it.
But maybe he didn't. Meanwhile, Asura crumble. Guerin is just a package cutscene away from Crystal Git. Guerin doing the nearly impossible thing and not just reflexively stepping over 2 steps to see the boss there at the top of the tower.
Probably doesn't want any reminders of that Golbez that was up there.
Well, you wouldn't see him, and that's when I always feel bad that I do it. Like, I have to really focus on that. If I've already fought that boss, be like, don't go over there, don't go over there.
Sometimes the good habits developed as a top tier runner like yourself work against you.
Yeah, it's total muscle memory, ingrained habit of you always just walk over and look and forgetting that oh yeah, I've already been here or I already know that is really easy to do.
So we will be seeing our final piggy of the night here at the package check on Guerin's side, crossing off the final objective.
Just sadness for Plumeria. Like this has been a rough series of just not hitting anything that Plumeria has been running into.
Yeah, like you said, some of the early aggressive checks, the Dwarf Castle check paid out very well, but the early Zot play paying off, but not having the luck. And sometimes sometimes you do a lot of things right, and you don't get rewarded for it.
Yeah, and when your opponent comes in and not quite God routes the seed, but pretty close, a lot of extra checks that Plumeria did looking for go mode, Guerin was able to skip by just making sure to clean up all of the earth first.
Absolutely, Guerin, you know, executed extremely well throughout the seed, but also just saving time the best way possible, going to where all the items are. Guerin getting the party set up for the final fight here. For all that great gear we found for Edge early on, we sure didn't find all that much for our to boost our mage's stats.
No, I think I saw I think maybe Lilith rods in a shop somewhere. Yeah, we didn't find a lot for them, but they learned nuke, so that's good enough. Yeah, nice battle speed 3 to prepare for doing reflex strats. I might want to see Edge in the middle so that he's going first, and then you're more likely to get turns down the line from everybody. You could consider giving Rydia a Dragon Whip if you feel like you're actually going to remember to take it back off her, since you would set her at a little bit faster pace than she might normally be. But those are very minor quibbles overall. Guerin should have a fairly routine time. I think Guerin was one of the did see silk webs in the shop and buy some, so that will help out here.
I think I saw a stack of 10 on Guerin's side, so should have plenty left to spare.
Would you like to ask maybe the most important question ever?
Most important question ever.
Yeah, what's he gonna do?
Do I like Picard?
That's silly. Everyone knows Picard is better.
Agreed there. 100%. No, whose butt are we going to be kicking tonight as Guerin throws the crystal and reveals which cosplays Aromas is taking?
Go mode for Plumeria, hooray.
Yeah, always good to have that. And not sure that's got a butt to kick. Might have to make one.
That is very green.
I can't remember if that's the choo choo fight from Link's Awakening DX or from Minish Cap.
You're telling me they made Legend of Zelda games after A Link to the Past?
I know it's frightening and terrifying, but yes.
You're telling me it's not
Like
1994
at least
anymore?
5.
Hallam beats the counter nuke. He doesn't have a whole lot of HP. He might die from this, but might not. We'll see. Survives.
The level is giving enough magic defense and evasion rolls to tank it. So I do like Edge chiming in with those darts rather than to help get towards that. So you mentioned that they're going to be doing Garen's doing reflex strats. Would you like to explain that in the few seconds we have left before Guerin finishes this fight off?
Sure. They wanted to have Zemus to have more HP than an 8-bit or 16-bit processor could handle. So they gave him a refill script, except that counters, which is the refill script actually is, don't go off when you have reflected damage onto somebody. So we're going to skip the refill HP by just reflecting damage after a certain point. You can finish off the fight with direct damage as long as you kill with it, because that you can't counter something when you're dead. So that's why this spoon here should kill if Guerin has done the math correctly.
There is the crack. There is the crumble. Guerin has defeated Chuchimus and won game 1 of this round of 24 bracket race here in Highway to the Zemus Zone.
Yeah, GG to Guerin. 126.50 is a pretty solid time. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes. And Guerin has joined us here in the booth. Congratulations, GG Guerin, as the GGs come in from chat as well.
So what was your thinking coming off of the grind? What drove you to finish off the Blue Planet stuff?
It's mostly the last few seeds I've tried. I've gone to the moon. I've gotten burned for it, so I was a little bit moon-averse. Turned out to be the right play in the seed.
And when you were grinding, you only had a slingshot on Rydia. Were you thinking about keeping Hallam down earlier, or were you just concerned as long as you got one slingshot, you felt comfortable?
I just figured with one would be fine. I mean, I had to go to the moon anyways for a White Spear altar. It looked like Ribbon's right next door. Well, it's not split. You should be able to get a few extra levels there somewhere. It turned out, I got just enough to get Nuke on the Kid before I came back to the Blue Planet, so it was all fine.
Yeah, it worked out really, really well for you. I'm curious about your choices for vetoes in the flags.
Okay, would you explain what I chose in the order, or not? I haven't explained that yet?
Yeah, no, just why you chose the ones you did to veto.
Okay, well, Loser Sirens. I'm kind of vulnerable to 1200 stress. I'm not that great at them, so that's more of a chance that Loser Sirens, someone might be able to pull off 1200 without the grind easily available, so that's why I got rid of that one. And then I got rid of Dangerous Gates, because again, who wants to deal with something like, Veil on the moon with no cane is blocking the way. That would just be rude.
That's very fair. Were you unhappy with, or did you want something that Plumeria had decided to veto?
Actually, Plumeria vetoed slow heroes, which I would have vetoed anyways if I'd really wanted to. And I was okay with either their two or left, which were Vanilla and this free party. Didn't really plan out in advance, so kind of like it was just we got here tonight, then we started drafting, and okay, ended up with something that I was okay getting.
Nah, how much did you enjoy that ribbon room getting you your XP as well as a pass?
I felt a little bit bailed out, but it's like, oh, I got the time back. Yay.
I think that's about all the questions I have. Do you have any questions?
I guess the only question I would have is, we never saw where the gauntlet was, did we?
Nope.
No, we did not
Okay.
see it on Plumeria's side.
Okay. I don't know if you're looking at the spoiler log, but the pink tail happened to be at the Maza altar, which is not going to get seen at this point. That would be kind of hilarious. That was where the gauntlet was.
Yeah, Plumeria went up earlier to the moon pre-grind than you did, and did check. I know checked the two ribbon and white spear. I don't remember if I saw whether or not PlumeriaKnight had checked the mouse altar, but I missed it if that happened.
No, he did. He did reset after this. After that, Magus Sisters. Seeing the Magus Sisters in the ribbon room.
Okay, so he saw it and reset out of it then.
Well, he saw he went down, cleared white spear, saw Magus Sisters, couldn't clear it, and I guess bailed on the moon at that point because he was
I got you.
he was pre-grind.
Got it. As it turns out, from the spoiler log, that's where the other half of the puzzle was. The pan would lead into eventually Twin Harp. Yeah, it could have been a good play to go early if you could get to the Magus Sisters, because that's would have given you a couple pieces of the puzzle, but the way it goes sometimes with rando.
Indeed. Rowdy, any questions for Guerin?
I think the two of you have covered everything. Again, GG on a very well-run race, all across the board.
All right, thank you. I thought it was fun. Thank you for doing the restream, and I'll sure listen back to the commentary, and you to Plumeria, and again to yeah, is it Dubber did the tracking and what Annadale did the restreaming, or is it Scar?
Scar's doing the restreaming.
Okay, I should have known that. He rolled the seed. Anyways, have a good night.
Yep. Have a good night, and
Thank
GG,
you.
and see you on Sunday for your next match.
Yeah, Sunday at 8, game 2. And if necessary, game 3 right after.
All right. And PlumeriaKnight is in go mode, has gotten the crystal, and is making his way down to through the lunar subterranean to go take on Chuchumus.
Yes, it's a little bit sad he has to take the secondary long walk down to the LST, but has all the levels possibly needed. I think Palom was 54 after the grind, maybe even higher at this point now. So should have a pretty easy time of it. I would expect to see very similar strats and just method of taking out Zemus as Guerin did.
Yeah, I look at the long walk, just making Zeromus think about what's coming. They're playing that psychological game. With a AI that has no concept of what you're doing.
But a magic rearranging, move that to Rosa. Battle speed 5. That is definitely a slower battle speed than I would have expected to see.
Might be looking at that edge hero and how fast they are. Might want to buy a little bit more time to get that initial setup done.
Yeah, the slowing down of battle speed just makes it so that time doesn't pass quite as quickly in terms of the game deciding whose turn it is. So Plumeria buying a little extra time to put things in before Zemus takes turns back away from you. So when you have a faster character like Edge, it's really nice to... you don't want to slip ticks to Zemus anyway, and that helps prevent it. So we'll see Plumeria just have a little bit... I don't know, half a second or so, maybe quarter of a second extra for each tick in order to put commands in. Yeah, and Dubword in chat mentioning Guerin's been putting in the practice. Guerin's been throwing out eyes in race rooms nearly almost every day in order to get practice races and stuff in. So Guerin definitely feeling a lot of the flag set, has a good practice eye for what he's able to do in a number of situations.
Oh yeah, no, like I said, that was an extremely well-run seed all across the board. Very, I don't think there were very few mistakes in execution, so you can definitely see that practice paying off. Entering the Zemus fight after a couple of last-second adjustments and getting ready to throw the crystal.
Yeah, and I do like Plumeria's party order here a little bit better, just in terms of like notional, theoretically correct play. Because we're starting with Edge, and we're going to go Cecil, Rosa, Rydia, Palom, because they're probably in agility order. And so that means they'll also kind of help buffer each other's turns, and hopefully you can get stuff off and happening before Zemus gets turns in as this kind of goes on. So it's kind of a minor point, but it's one thing I do like to see people thinking about. And it's one of those things that in marginal fights, it makes a big difference. This, however, won't be a marginal fight.
No, I mean 7,000 on that first nuke, and unfortunately Rydia taking the counter nuke, but yeah.
She's fine.
Sort of laughing it off there.
And doing good work to get Edge darting early in the fight, because you don't want to have him do direct damage that could tip into the next phase, like we talked about during Guerin's fight. You want to do early or to end it with the dart. So this is probably, and I think since Plumeria maybe doesn't have the spoon anymore, this will be the Edge's sole damage contribution to this fight.
Yeah, that spoon was used on the Mylon fight up back at the Murasame altar, so I think you're right there.
Wait, Cecil's going to give up his weaponry too. We got another dart on Edge.
There we go. Because, yeah, I don't see Cecil using it for a swing, so might as well. 300 damage on that big bang on Rydia, even with the nerf. That's some very good evasion there.
Yeah, Rydia gets magic of both as she levels up, so her evade rolls are pretty solid overall. How much money would you have to get paid in order to have people throw nuclear weapons at your face and just pray that they're going to bounce off the invisible shield in front of you?
After considering the adventure pretty much starts off with seeing the antlion, probably pretty jaded about everything at this point.
Antlion's just that menacing and terrifying, huh?
Imagine that as walking into that fight with a bard and
A very small
five-year-old
child
summoner
and your girlfriend. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, you don't have your girlfriend.
Yeah, you
yet.
don't
You're going to
even
save her.
have Rosa yet.
Hey, GG PlumeriaKnight.
Yep,
An
GG.
official time of 1:39:57, and welcome in.
GG PlumeriaKnight.
Thank you.
So my big question is, talk to me about your decision for the moon and grinding.
Yeah. My decision for the moon and grinding was that I wanted 10 key items for the grind. And I felt great about that right up until I ran into Mylan. That should have been a reset. I still wanted to check, the white spear just in case it was free. But then, yeah, it kind of, I think that one decision to take the Mylan fight sort of snowballed everything. And then I think in the end it probably would have been better to just take the early grind, because probably it speeds up everything, and then I don't even have to worry about coming back to Feymarch or choosing the rest of the moon or whatever. It was looking like everything was going to be behind Pan, which I was really trying to find. I don't know where that ended up.
That was actually at the Magus spot, or the Magus fight at the Ribbon Room.
Oh, wow. I don't know if it had anything useful behind it or not, but it probably did.
It did. It had a harp
Okay.
and a pass.
Yeah.
Or the pass was behind the Magus too. It was
Yeah.
pass and Pan there, and Pan led to harp.
Oh, wow. That's huge. If I could have gotten that Leviathan off, I probably would have finished that fight off. And I think that makes a bit of a difference, but Guerin's a tough opponent, so it's always going to be I had to do something special to try and win. So that was my plan. I got that 9th key item from White Spear, and it was an objective, so I went and did that. And I got my 10th key item, so from there, it was just, I wasn't sure if I was behind or ahead, so I just had to kind of hope I could get the right place first.
Yeah, and how did you feel about getting rewarded for both Zot and Dwarf Castle?
That felt great, because it's not a guarantee that Guerin's going to do those. He probably will, because it's just, you probably want to try to get to 10 key items before you grind, but you never know. He might grind and go full moon. And I guess today full moon is an alternate path to victory. It's a better path, really, because moon is hard required. But without that knowledge, it felt great to get all those early objectives off the board.
Yeah, because I would guess that people might be doing, especially with the the free party that y'all chose.
Yeah.
That Earth Crystal is especially something that you might want to skip. So to me, that felt really good for you when that landed.
Yeah, I definitely felt like I was ahead because I didn't know. Magma was easy, so yeah, I don't know. I was trying to route everything fairly efficiently because my plan was to get that 10 key item, and instead of doing 8 and 8, I'd do 4 and 4 of the Mac Giants.
Yeah, that part of it makes a lot of sense. It's just the seed had other ideas for you, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes. You can make a good decision and it still doesn't go your way.
I know it's a little bit early since you just had this race, but do you have any thoughts on what you'll do on race 2 when that's on Sunday?
Um, you know, it really depends on how the draft goes, I guess. Uh,
Well, I
I
think you
don't
guys are
know.
doing this the entire time.
Yeah. So, oh, this is the
Yeah.
same mode. Okay, okay. Well, in that case, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about like, I don't think we're gonna get an early darkness, so it's hard to take any lessons, from
Yeah.
this particular race.
Yeah,
So I
edge
think I'll just,
starter,
yeah,
early Earth Crystal that gets you edge weapons,
yeah,
and then a
and a
very
Zeus,
early darkness that's a
yeah,
lot.
a Zeus gauntlet with Cecil as well. So it was everything you could have asked for, right? So yeah, I think my plan is to just see what the hero is, and kind of just play a pretty conservative race where I try to be efficient. Like I felt really good about my early game. I'll have to watch the restream back to see if it was competitive or not. But yeah, it felt really good. So I don't think I need to change anything. I just need to play a little faster and maybe get a little luckier.
Yeah, I think that's a good summary. Your early game was great. Diving straight to the Zot treasure like you did, I think gave you a leg up because Garen dove a little extra treasures first
Mm,
and looted some extra places than you did, I'm pretty sure. So I liked your plan of attack early. It just kind of uh, the seed not getting you to 10 key items is the thing that really hurts you.
yeah, yep. That happens quite a lot actually. So not a guarantee. But I was pretty pleased with that Z fight. It could have gone. It didn't have any wisdom boost except that Sork robe, so it was always going to be sketchy. But especially with Edge at 41 agility, so I
Okay,
was
yeah,
pretty glad that I clutched that
I'm
out.
yeah, I missed that exact agility number, but it did seem move it to BS5, which was a little surprising for me, but worked out.
Yeah, that's kind of my little secret strategy, I guess. I'm pretty dang good with the reflex strats at Battlefield 5. I've kind of mapped it out to where it's almost a guarantee that you can get Z down before that second big bang. Today, Edge needed to help out a lot.
Yes, he was throwing all the cutlery possible. Well, my co-com's Roddy Sniper, do you have any questions for Plumeria?
No questions. I just want to say though, definitely a great. I know that there were longer fights, but definitely a great job getting through that Dark Elf and the Mylon fights on the moon before the grind. Those you did a heck of a job fighting your way through those fights to get through those in the first try. So very
Oh, thanks. I
nicely
appreciate
done.
it. Yeah, unfortunately, no reward for either one, but that's how it goes.
I mean, you got a whole full moon.
Well, I
Yeah.
could back row Edge, so I guess I got something out of it.
Well, GG's again, and we'll look forward to your race on Sunday as the start of what is hopefully for you a doubleheader.
Yeah, I hope so. It would be nice to get it to a game 3, win or lose the series. So, yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed, and thank you for the restream. I look forward to watching this back and learning a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night.
Yeah.
And
Good night.
GG again.
to all of you out there, we're not going to raid anyone tonight, but matches tomorrow do start with Frankie Bones versus Korgs and Scarsura versus Alchemy that both start at 5 p.m. Eastern. And then Talgrant and Vitasia will be at 9 p.m. Eastern. So those are 2 p.m. Pacific and 6 p.m. Pacific for all of the West Coast people who don't want to do math.
And again, please keep an eye on the Discord for updates on those matches. The matches that aren't going to be that aren't restreamed, there will be discussion threads available, so you can compare notes and discuss the matches as they're going on. So feel free to check that out.
Yeah, thank you all, and have a good night.
Thank you. Take care.